Welcome to Fan for Racing Radio. I'm Fan for Racing Sharon, and joining me for today's show is Jay Huseman. And we are here today to review the Rockingham race for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And there's going to be a lot to talk about there, Jay.
Yeah, again, as we've talked about already with the Truck Series and the ARCA Menard Series East racing, I thought racing was great. It's great to see him back at the Rock. I know this one turned into a fuel mileage race at the end, and that happens. And I'm okay with that for the most part. The truck race was a fuel mileage strategy. We'll get into that a little bit, but it will carry over to hot topics. I promise that.
Well, yes, it will. We will definitely be bringing this up during Hot Topics. It was a long after the checker flag waved in the NASCAR Xfinity Series in their long-awaited return to Rockingham Speedway that Sammy Smith thought he finished in second place. And that turned around because the number 2 of Jesse Love, the guy who went across the finish line first, was disqualified following the North Carolina Education Lottery 250, handing the win over to Sammy Smith in the number 8. Now, that was his first win of the season. Love was disqualified for issues pertaining to the rear suspension. Love will get 1 point for the race since he was disqualified, so that will be part of his penalty. Parker Retzlaff moved up to second in the finishing order. The best finish of his career in third was the number 25 of Harrison Burton, recording AM Racing's best finish in their team history. The number 44 of Brennan Poole finished in fourth, giving Alpha Prime Racing its first race with multiple drivers finishing inside the top 5. Number 54 of Taylor Gray rounded out the top 5. I was really hoping Taylor was going to win this race. Then the next 5 drivers were Austin Hill, Josh Williams, Jeb Burton, Daniel Dye, and Jeremy Clements rounding out the top 10. For a while, we thought Ryan Sieg was in good position to win. He led a race high and career high of 77 laps, but was involved in a late wreck and ended up placing in 19th spot. Playing the points game, the number 48, Nick Sanchez and Dean Thompson in the number 26. Nick won stage 1, Dean won stage 2. They scored their first career stage victories. There were 12 lead changes among 8 drivers, 14 cautions for 83 yellow flag laps, and the average speed of the race was 80.377 miles per hour. The highest finishing rookie was Taylor Gray in 5th place. The fastest lap award goes to Kyle Sieg on lap 167 at 23.39. And the margin of victory in this race was 0.691 seconds. So that's 691 thousandths of a second. Your thoughts there about our top 10 finishers, Jay?
One of the most prolific instances of don't count your chickens until they're hatched, or the checkered flag flies, and sometimes after in this case. Mm-hmm. When you look at the rundown and how drivers ran, it doesn't reflect necessarily in where they finished. Like I said, it did become a fuel mileage issue. For a driver like Ryan Sieg, it unfortunately did not go the way they wanted and were planning, and cost him. In a couple other situations, the same thing happened, but it cost several drivers because with the running out of fuel, it caused a backlog and a pile up of cars behind them. But honestly, when it was all said and done, it was tough to make an argument against it. And I'm trying, like I said, to stay within the realm of the race of not hot topics. But the faster to better cars of the day, Jesse Love and Sammy Smith were up front battling it out. Jesse Love crossed the finish line first, then you have the DQ. But again, you take the good storylines. You mentioned Sammy Smith, first off, getting the race win. I know Junior said, well, we'll take it pretty much.
Yeah, not the way we want to win, but we'll take it any way we can get it.
Certainly. And we all know that teams and drivers have lost ones where they should have had the win. So to get one when they maybe weren't the first car, it happens. What goes around comes around.
Correct.
So, but there were some other good stories just overall. You mentioned Parker Retzlaff and Harrison Burton. Brennan Poole, yet again, another top five. I know he was eligible, had a top five finish, I believe, going into Martinsville, which made him eligible for the Dash for Cash. So again, seeing those bright, shining moments. We want to see that where it's a consistent thing. And we're starting to see that, I think, in the 25 anyway from Harrison Burton. Taylor Gray, talking about having one and it just not going their way or taken away, however you want to look at it. You're right. If he were to get one some other way, you'd feel it was deserved because he definitely had one a couple of weeks ago and didn't get the victory. Austin Hill, obviously your annual championship contender, finishing sixth. Josh Williams, Jeb Burton, Daniel Dye. Again, I feel they had solid days. Were they going to finish in the top 10? Probably not. I think they were just outside the top 10. But as strategies unplayed, the incidences on track happen. That's part of racing. And I get that. Again, especially on a short track, things happen. So one thing I want to highlight there, 14th place after qualifying fourth, Casey Kane with a damaged race car, no less, to recover and finish in the 14th spot.
Part of his race car.
He was missing part of the right front fender, or there were certainly some gaps in it. On a short track, that's not as important, and I say as important. But I thought the team did a great job, and overall showed that he can still be competitive.
Yes.
And I'm trying to think of the exact wording after the race of I'd be willing to do it again. I think was not against it, put it that way. So hopefully we do see it. I would love to see it.
Yes, me too. Now, as far as the lead lap drivers in this race, there were considerably more lead lap drivers this time around, 20 drivers on the lead lap in the Xfinity series. But there were some situations that took drivers out of the race earlier than they anticipated. Justin Bonsignor was out on lap 157 due to an accident. Jesse Love was back. He was running at the end of that race, but he was pushed back because of the disqualification. Then you have Catherine Legg had an accident, took her out of the race on lap 50. You've got Sheldon Creed. He was out on lap 109 because of an accident. Greg Van Alst, he had a brake issue that took him out of the race on lap 171. Ryan Ellis, accident on lap 180, took him out of the race. Blaine Perkins, I was so happy for Blaine. Blaine was kind of running toward the top, and I thought he was going to have a really good finish. And then he had that accident that took him out of the race on lap 226. Nick Sanchez had an accident on lap 240 that took him out of the race. 241 for Austin Green due to the accident. And then Thomas Annunziata was out because of a suspension issue on lap 246. Chris Wright caught up in an accident out on lap 247, along with Matt DiBenedetto. Both of those cars out on lap 247, along with Sam Mayer out on lap 247 because of that accident. That means that we had 25 cars finishing the race, 20 of those on the lead lap. The other cars a lap or more down.
And like I said, this, if you didn't really watch and follow the entire race, is really tough to understand this race just by looking at the finishing order and results here. But again, take it for what it's worth. It was short track. Rockingham being a short track, we saw short track things happen. It's tight racing situations. Somebody gets into an issue, you're going to have more than one involved in most cases, especially if they're towards the front of the field. There were a couple, Nick Sanchez being one. I felt really did have a strong car, led 2 times for 52 laps. Certainly a top contender. The other one being Ryan Sieg. And that team is so close. And again, they're not a top tier team, but are coming very close, running again, top 5, top 10. One of the days, when something doesn't go the right way, it's going to turn in their favor. They're on the wrong end of it a lot of times, but when you're running top 5, top 10, they're going to come.
And Jeremy Clements, too, with that another top 10 finish. He's had a couple up there in the top 10, too.
And that's one thing when I look at these smaller teams, that's how they go about it. Their strategy is to stay out of trouble, keep the car clean, and at the end, if something goes awry, to be able to avoid it and get that good finish, Yes. I mean, that is, you hate to say it, but I mean, facts are facts. For a top 10, for a team like that, that is considered a good day. They're still out there to win and try different things, whether it be the fuel strategy and whatnot. They're the ones that are going to try and take that because that is their shot. But I think the team of Ryan Sieg and getting more assistance through Ford and the partnership with Haas factory team, you're really seeing a difference. It would not surprise me to see Ryan Sieg win a race this year. It really wouldn't.
I would agree with that. We should also mention that Sammy Smith also earned that $100,000 bonus for the Dash for Cash. So
I didn't realize that also would transfer.
Yes, he also won that Dash for Cash bonus. So that's going to help him considering the penalty that he had from an earlier race.
Most certainly. So there's a good storyline, if you will. The rookies, I know we're watching them, and we'll take a look at the total rundown. But again, you got some good finishes, not just runs, but finishes. Taylor Gray, who's really starting to show some muscle. Again, top 2, 3, 4, 5 every week. They're on point. Daniel Dye and Dean Thompson, 9th and 11th. Connor Zilic, and honestly, I said, started on the pole, had a issue. I don't remember. I think it was a tire issue, but had to start from the back, work their way back in. I believe at one point was 3, maybe even 4 laps down. I know they made back at least 2. I don't remember exactly how many, but to come back and battle and be in contention there at the end, possibly having the fastest and best and fastest car on the track towards the end of the race. Run out of time and too much traffic to work through. But then you had, Christian Ecke's 23rd, William Sawalich 25th. And we'll talk about that in Hot Topics. But William Sawalich, after the East Series in the second place run, had a good car, was running good, just got involved in an incident. That's been their season. It really has. And I'm hoping that that gets turned around. Nick Sanchez, same thing, 31st.
Yes. Doesn't reflect how well he ran.
Not at all. So again, I'm still really excited about this rookie battle throughout the year.
I am too. Let's go ahead and move over to the points report. Where did Justin Allgaier finish? Because
he had a couple of situations of wrong place, wrong time, got banged around. 2 laps down in 21st.
Yeah, that's
the first car that wasn't on the lead lap.
That's unusual for him to finish that far back. So,
well, it's not much of a factor when we talk about the points. He still has an 87-point lead. 2 race wins, 3 stage wins, has 13 playoff points. Sam Mayer in second with no wins, 1 stage win though, for 1 playoff point, but that shows his consistency, which I've been really impressed with. Then you got 2 wins for Austin Hill for 14 playoff points, but is 100 points back behind Allgaier. That shows you the difference in consistency between those two. Mm-hmm. Then, even with the DQ, Jesse Love still in 4th. Again, what could have been, where he could be if the... And I will say this is going to be unofficial because I believe I saw before we came on the air, Richard Childress Racing is appealing that penalty. Let me see if I can verify that. Yeah, Xfinity RCR to appeal. So again, this is unofficial
Okay.
because they
That's
are
good to know.
appealing. And I can go into a little bit of detail. I know they listed it as suspension. I want to get into more of a hot topic, but a clamp on the rear end holding something down has to be fully secure or touching.
Yeah, that
Move my
has to be
hand here. Which way?
connected.
Okay, so it was 10 thousandths of an inch, which is, they say, the width of $2 bills. Again,
Mm,
they're checking these things. Was it intentional? Maybe, maybe not. Again, maybe if we get into that in hot topics under the penalty, we'll talk more about it. But it was not much. Could it have happened? And obviously, RCR feels it happened via the race damage or conditions.
mhm.
So we'll have to wait and see. Maybe we'll save that hot topic for after the appeal is heard and made.
We can set it up though.
Yeah. So with that, then fifth place is a rookie, Carson Kvapil, at minus 125. Brandon Jones with the victory. Connor Zilic with the victory. Sammy Smith with the victory. Your top 8. Ninth is Ryan Sieg, again, having a great year. Sheldon Creed, couple of rough races, now back in 10th. 11th is Jeb Burton. 12th is Harrison Burton. So that will be your cut line of the Burtons. Jeb Burton in 11th at 251, Harrison at 243. Behind them comes the rest of the rookie brigade. What did I say? We got Kvapil and Zilic up top. Daniel Dye in 13th. Taylor Gray in 14th. Again, could have had a win. Dean Thompson 15th. Christian Eckes 16th. Nick Sanchez in 17th. Unfortunately, my pick there, William Sawalich, just, man, tough year, 25th. But they are
Maybe one of
all
those drivers could come up with a win before the season is over.
most certainly. Again, we've seen several of them have some really good runs. Again, had Nick Sanchez been in it at the end, could he have won
Mhm.
it? Possibly, because he definitely had the car. So with that, though, the points itself, Harrison Burton at 243, Daniel Dye is at 240, so only 3 points there. It is a 20-point gap back to Taylor Gray, but like I said, we've already seen where he could have, should have, might have, would
Mhm.
have won a race. So we know he's capable. Then 220 is where Dean Thompson is. 218, a tie between Eckes and Sanchez. Yeah,
Yeah.
the rookies are just all hanging right together in one pack. So if they come, they might come together. So look out.
Watch out, Xfinity Series. Okay, there's another tie though too, up a little bit further up, between 6th and 7th. That's Brandon Jones and Connor Zilic. They're actually tied in points, so 1 point would make a difference between those two. But this one I am seeing, even though it's pretty separated at the top, I see a lot of 2 points, 2 points, 3 points, 4 points, 3, 8, 3. So it's a little bit tighter as you go down that list between the positions.
It is, and that's what excites me. It'll be interesting, really interesting to see if Jesse Love were to win that appeal, first off,
Yeah.
because that would give him another win and 5 bonus points as far as the playoff points. Because here again, you have 2 drivers, Austin Hill at 14, Justin Allgaier at 13. Then you got to go back to Connor Zilic with 7 and Sammy Smith with 6. Now, again, Smith would go away if Love were to get him and move up to 10 with his second one. It would be taken away from Sammy Smith, and he would only have the 1
Mm-hmm.
for a stage win. So definitely interesting. And I say, like you said, we can talk about the penalty, but I think the hot topic itself will have to wait and see how
With
NASCAR, the review board, the NASCAR panel
the appeals
and
panel.
the appeal process applies it.
Yes, it is going to be interesting to see how that plays out. And it will impact the points. As we mentioned, Jesse Love only got 1 point for this particular race. So a win would be a lot more points and would probably push him up. He is separated from the next driver by 23 points. So, it would push him up that list if
It
he
might
were,
put him into second. If he were to get the win, it might put him into second, if not for sure third over Austin
yeah, I
Hill.
think third for sure, maybe second. So we'll have to wait and see. But so keep your eye out this week. Appeals, it depends on when they can get an appeal board group together. So we'll have to wait and see when that happens, and then wait for the news of the results. So we'll have to keep our ears to the grindstone for that and keep everybody informed there.
And how important is $2? The width of $2, not just $2, because $2 don't mean a whole lot either, but the width of $2 bills stacked can make a huge difference.
Fractions. We're talking about small fractions here, making a huge difference. So we will keep our eye on it. And I can't say that I blame RCR for reviewing, for going through the appeal process. But I'm anxious to hear what both sides have to say about what happened here too.
This is, and again, I'll go a little more real quick. Like I said, that clamp you're talking about, that has to be in contact, secure. I heard a crew chief talk about it. Again, they don't measure the torque on the bolt. They just measure the contact. So if you put 80 pounds of torque on it, it's going to be secure until you cut it off with a blowtorch. If you say go to 50 pounds of torque, they said it might give a little bit. And again, NASCAR will give tolerances, especially under race damage. But you're taking that chance. Now, if you go to 35, again, it's going to give. Now, if you let it give too much where it doesn't clear tech. And that was the example given by a crew chief on Sirius XM's morning drive. So, again, you're not fooling nobody. What's that?
What did they say about the potential for competitive advantage?
That question did get asked, and they said it definitely could, not necessarily, but could. And it depended on, and they didn't know at that point whether it was the left side or the right side. The caller that asked about it was asking as far as his restarts and launch. And they said if it was the right side, or one side, I don't remember if it was left or right. Depending on the side that it happened on, that certainly could give that little bit. And again, a little bit equals a lot when you come to, the competition. I mean, that's why everybody's trying these things. If it were on the other side, they said it could be that little bit of aero advantage. Now, does that mean it does? Not necessarily, but it could. And that's where NASCAR can't judge intent. Again, was it an intentional thing, a design thing? They're not going to look into intent. They're going to look at, did the race damage or something during the race cause it beyond their control? That's what they'll look at. And then it's either it did or it didn't. If it wasn't your fault, so be it. But if it's possibly on your side, intentional or not, or you did something, then the hammer is going to come.
Right.
Or the penalty stand. Actually, as it is, the penalty was just the DQ.
Right. As it stands right now, and the fact that he got 1 point for the race.
Right.
So we'll see how that plays out in the coming days here. And we do have more coming soon tonight. Well, let me start with the fact that we've already done our review for the Truck Series. We did the review for the ARCA East Series, and now the Xfinity Series, all at Rockingham Speedway this weekend. Coming up tonight is our live stream for our Hot Topic Sound Off conversation with myself, Jay, and Chris. So if you want to join in on some lively conversation on hot topics, I would suggest that you join us tonight. We do have a live chat available, and take part in the conversation and give your thoughts about what you think is going on. But I'm looking forward to it. It will be a live stream, 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern, and then 7 o'clock Pacific time. You can tune in for that live stream. And we go sometimes an hour, sometimes 2 hours. So we might have to limit ourselves there so that we're not keeping everybody up at night.
Well, I will say this. I did my best here on the Xfinity series to give a objective review of the results. Come hot topics, I get a little more freedom. I have an opinion on all of that, and I will share it.
And we will give you the soapbox.
Right. We got to take turns passing that soapbox, right?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Okay, so I want to tell everybody thank you so much for tuning in to our reviews, previews, interviews, our hot topic sound off. We really appreciate everybody taking the time to hear what we have to say. We are passionate fans as well, and we enjoy talking about racing, and we hope you enjoy hearing what we have to offer. We will be back at the end of this week for our previews of the upcoming race, the Xfinity Series, the ARCA Menard Series,
There you go,
and the Cup Series are going to be racing this weekend at Talladega Super Speedway. And you know that's a wild card on NASCAR's schedule. So we'll have a lot to talk about there, and we'll get everything set up for you so you know what to expect at Talladega in those three series. So again, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you tonight on our Hot Topic Sound Off segment. Take care.
All right.
Anything more you want to say, Jay?
Not looking forward to it. You know that. I'm waiting. I'm tired. The countdown ticker has started.
Okay. Take care, everybody.